Hey guys, my name is Elise Jerome, and this is my first try at a makeup tutorial, so bear with me. I'm gonna do something kind of warm, smoky, just fun and good for fall. So I always start with my eye makeup. It's just what I've always done. It's what I'm comfortable with. It's how I like to roll. I always prime with MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. And I just rub it between my fingers, tiny little bit, and apply over my whole eyelid just to get a nice base, because it really helps stuff from being patchy and helps your color stay and be more true to color. And I mean, if you're paying money for your eyeshadows and expecting bold color, you want them to be true to color. Okay. To set my base, I always use a translucent powder. I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. I love this stuff. I've had this for months and I'm nowhere near empty. And this is a MAC 130 brush. Guarantee you they don't look like this when you buy them, but I have had this bad boy for years. And I just tap a little bit and that's pretty much it. It gives you a nice even base, evens out your skin tone. And let's go ahead and jump into the eyes. I'm gonna use the NYX Elements palette in Fire. I absolutely love this. It's so gorgeous. Like, look at those colors. Look at those. I am always drawn to warm colors, so I'm going to be using more reds than anything else. So I hope you guys are okay with that. For a transition shade, I'm using a Sedona Lace EB13 brush. Just a nice fat brush. And I'm going to go into, they don't have names, so I'm going to go into this shade right here. And just tap, get some on there, tap off the excess, and I like to use a combination of like a windshield wiper or like little swirls, but I always try and keep a really light hand because it's way easier to build up than it is to take away. And what I mean by a light hand is I just, as soon as the brush makes contact with the eye, I stop and don't apply any more pressure. And then if you need a little bit more color or a little bit more, you can just go back in and do the same thing and build it up that way, rather than just jamming the brush into your eyeball, which that cannot be comfortable for anybody. I try and do this when I'm working on people too. Working on other people as a makeup artist has really helped me with that. Learn my touch so I'm not stabbing my client's eyeball, because really nobody likes that. Okay, I'm gonna go with just a little bit more of a pointed brush. It's still nice and fat, so I'm still just kind of buffing things out. And this is a Morphe R37. I am going to dip into this coral shade right here and take that just right below. And this one's really important to keep a light hand. Because like I said, you just want the tip of the brush to make contact with your eye and then start working it back and forth. Now, I run into this problem a lot because I'm 34. I don't have perfect skin, but if you can see right there, I get a little bit of skipping. That is nothing to do with the color or the pigment or the quality of the shadows. I've had super cheap shadow do it. I've had Natasha Denona shadows do it. It's just my skin. So bear with me while I fix that. And I know that an esthetician would tell you not to pull your skin out, but I hate the look of skipped eyeshadow more, so I will, for the most part, put it all on there in the crease, and then just kind of pull the skin tight a little bit so I can really get in there. I'm gonna go back to that Sedona Lace brush, back into that transition shade, and just kind of buff to soften that coral. Because it didn't do a whole lot in the way of transition shades. And I kind of want to punch it up and do a little bit more sunsetty. This is a Morphe R39. It's just a slightly smaller brush. Please don't judge that my brushes aren't super clean. I have been slacking. And I'm actually going to go into the bright yellow on that palette, because why not? And blend even between the transition and that coral color with that yellow. Gives it just a little bit more gradient effect. I don't know if you guys can hear the rumbling outside, but I live in Texas and it has decided that today it's going to storm. So it is pouring down rain. My dogs are a little bit freaked out, but they're okay. Okay. Now that I've got like the whole blending and gradient down and all that's left is my lids, I am going to really punch it up a little bit. I'm going to bring out this ColourPop matte shadow in Baby Talk. It's one of their Super Shock pressed pigments. I absolutely, oh, I'm sorry, it's not matte. It's just got a little bit of reflective to it, but it is red. Red, red, red. And I prefer to use these with either my finger or a flat brush. For this, I'm going to use a flat brush. And this is actually a Dallas-based company. It's AOA, or actually shopmissa.com or shopmissa. And it's AOA Studio. These brushes are $1 each, and they are wonderful. I absolutely love them. I use them for so many different parts of my makeup. And this is an E113. And I'm just going to kind of pat it in there. Not too hard, just enough to get pigment on the brush. And then right on the outside of outer corner of my eye. Not quite enough, so good. Go in with the finger. And really get that vibrant, bright look that we're going for. And it's a little bit more pinky than I want, but it's really honestly just kind of a base to add a little bit more depth to the outside of my eye. Really what I'm going to go in and do is take a shorter flat brush, and this is still the AOA Studio, and it is the E123, and take just a little bit of that soft ochre. Tiny little bit. A little bit goes a long way. I absolutely love this stuff. I've had this pot for the better part of a year. And I'm just kind of laying it down over the lid and bringing it back a little bit onto that bright red color. Not like cutting out the crease, but kind of carving out the area that I want it to be in. Excuse me. Okay. Always important, as soon as you're done using it, close this lid. You don't want it to dry out. It's a lot of money to waste. If it's dried and cracked, it's just not going to work the same. I am going back to that 113, the large flat shader. And I am going right into what I think is probably the crowning jewel of this palette, and it's this bright red. It's so gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It is the perfect red, not too much warmth. Well, I guess like not too much orangey tone, not too much pink undertone. I can't say not too much warmth because it's literally a warm color. And just kind of patting more than anything to really keep it pigmented. Right over that base that I just put down and kind of blending it out onto that darker ColourPop shadow. Look how bright and amazing that is. Oh, so beautiful. Now this is really pretty and you can leave it like this. I prefer to deepen up the crease and kind of play around a little bit more. So I'm going to use, it's another AOA. It's an E112. It's just kind of a round dome, smaller than I was using before, fluffy brush. And I'm going to dip into this darker purple right here. Get some on there, tap off the excess. Use this so I can get up nice and close. And I'm going to kind of just tap it into the very corner of my eye and like tap and swirl to get it really where I want it, and then really lightly arc it up into that crease. And see how that kind of just adds a little bit more depth and dimension. I'm going back to the R37 and that coral color that I used as the second transition. And gonna just blend that out even more. When I say I went back to it, I mean like I took the brush, barely dipped it in, so there's hardly any color on there, and just lightly windshield wiper back and forth so you don't lose all that dimension you just put in there. And just because I'm gonna go back into that yellow and super light, like barely even making contact with your skin. I mean, you can see that the brush isn't even moving the skin on my eye. Like that's how light-handed I'm trying to be right now. Okay. For eyeliner, I have found the Essence Superfine Waterproof Eyeliner Pen right here. Let's see if I can get that. This thing is like $2 or $3 at Ulta. It is amazing. Look, that tip is super sharp. It's just, it will stay on through swimming, everything. And I've been doing winged eyeliner for a lot of years, so it is a little bit easier for me, but a pen like this will really help you get it down. All I do, hold it like I would a pencil. I kind of just lightly close my eye, set it down right at my lash line, and start. Then I'll come slightly higher. Then, because it has a tip, you can just kind of put it down where you want it and build out your wing. And like I said, I've been doing a winged eyeliner for years, so it is easy for me. But look how beautiful that is, and it's so simple with this pen. I swear by it. I will take this to weddings. I will use this on, well, that's another reason I started using it, is I wanted something that I could use on clients, and obviously you can't sanitize a tip like this, so I was able to just include it in the price of the service and give it to them to keep. So, and I mean, it's not like a crazy wing, but wing eyeliner on. I am not going to use fake lashes today. I just don't want to. I'm going to use this is a MAC lash curler and the Tarteist mascara. This stuff is amazing. I love the brush. I love the way it helps like separate and define. I already have longer lashes. The tips are blonde. I think a lot of people run into that issue. So I just really love it. Need a little bit closer here. I will say, if you're ever going on vacation and somewhere where you're going to be in the pool a lot, that Essence eyeliner and the L'Oreal Lash Paradise waterproof mascara, those are my go-tos. I can be out in the sun and swim all day and they do not move. It's amazing. And they're both super affordable, which I really love. I'm not gonna lie, I'm partially using this mirror so you guys can't see the faces that I make when I'm putting on mascara because they're awful. I don't know how people look cute putting on mascara. That's just not a thing for me. Okay, so now the top half of my eyes is pretty much done. I like to go and do my face now. I'm going to be using the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Luminous Primer. I just like a little bit of a dewy look, not overly, but I don't like completely flat and matte. Just probably should use a sponge or something, but I'm not going to. Start T-zone and just rub this into my skin. I especially like to start with my eye makeup if I'm doing a bright color or a bold look or anything with glitter, because getting the fallout and you're doing double the work really. For foundation, I'm going to be using Colab. You can find it at Sally's Beauty Supply. I think it's like $12.99. It's really affordable. This is the Bright Spark Radiant Foundation, and I don't know what color. That's a bummer. And I'm gonna take my that Shop Miss A that I was telling you guys about, the AOA Studios. They make beauty blenders. They're awesome. I love them. This one's dirty. Don't judge me. I like to spray my beauty blender with a little bit of Fix Plus first. 2 pumps. Really don't need much. I'm also not going for like a full crazy coverage. I have a lot of freckles. I am Scottish and I love my freckles. I don't ever really try to cover them completely. You can use a brush too. This foundation works amazing with a brush, and Colab actually has a foundation brush. This is so dirty. I am so sorry because that's not an accurate representation of how amazing the brush is, but that's, oh, I love it. Love that brush. I was watching a Jaclyn Hill video and she was talking about how when she's pouncing out her foundation, she just feels like all of her troubles melt away. And I was like, oh, girl, yes, I get you. Because, I mean, if you have a great eyeshadow look going and then just nothing on your face, you feel like, Halloween came early this year. And for concealer, I love Tarte Shape Tape. It's great. I really love the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This one is in Beige 25. It's got like a nice peachy undertone, which I feel like is nice for brightening. And I'm not really into that super way lighter concealer. I just like a tiny bit. And I love that this sponge comes with a pointy tip so you can get right in there and blend it out. If I am going to highlight, I have the ColourPop, it's Fair Neutral 17H2 ColourPop. Put a little bit right here because I'm 34 and have bags under my eyes. And it just brightens that area up a little bit. All right, I am going back into the Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. And back to my trusted MAC. I mean, yeah, 130. You can't even read the numbers on this brush. It's so old. And I don't like to heavy set anything. I don't do the baking because for me it settles into my fine lines and I just don't like it. So I will take this and just kind of lightly go over my whole face. Just enough to where it's not shiny and greasy anymore, but not so much that it looks cakey. Then I'm gonna go in and finish up my under eye so I feel complete because right now I just feel like I look crazy. I'm gonna go back into that NYX palette and back with the Morphe R39 into that yellow color and kind of just blow it out ever so softly. I think that's where a lot of people get stuck and confused, or they just don't know what to do, is the under eye is really what makes the whole look come together. Okay, now I'm gonna find it's a smaller pencil brush. This is a Morphe R41. And I'm gonna go into that coral shade right down here. And just kind of a little bit tighter to the lash line. Run that along there. Just so you have a little bit of all of the colors marrying to the bottom. And then take my tiniest flat definer. It's from the Gold series. It's a Morphe Y21. And I'm going into this dark purple. I'm just going to tap, and then I'm just going to kind of press and wiggle it right up along that lash line. And then I am an eyeliner in my waterline girl. I have always done that. And my very favorite ride or die, I don't think I'll ever even try anything else because it just doesn't work as good, is the MAC Graph Black Technical Liner Twist Up Pencil. I need a new one. That's how often I use these. I have used this pretty much religiously since 2008, so 10 years now. I absolutely love this product. And I'm not pulling down on my eye, like applying pressure. All I'm doing is just kind of opening it so I can get in there. And for my lower lashes, I am Hardcore MAC Extended Play Black Mascara, or Giga Black Mascara. I don't know why I don't really care for it for my upper lashes, but for my lower lashes, this is everything. It just separates them, it defines them. It is a true black. It doesn't flake off. Would help if you guys could actually see me apply it, I guess. I just love it. For eyebrows, I use a combination of two products. I use the Anastasia Brow Definer in chocolate, and I don't really like a crazy big brow. I just like it to be a little bit stronger because I don't have thick bushy eyebrows and I'm never going to, and I don't want to create that look. I always start underneath, kind of carve out that line. And a little bit on top to kind of carve it out. And I will kind of go, I don't know, a little bit on the outside around the corner just because I have really wimpy brows. And you guys know the rule of thumb for eyebrows if you're filling them in or drawing them in. Start, arch, finish. Simple, but it really does help you, give you the most natural look. Even if you are going with a bolder brow, you should still always be able to hold a pencil or something straight up from the side of your nose. This is where your eyebrow should start, cut through right through the center of your eye. That's where your arch should be, and then follow that outer line of your eye, and that's where your brow should end. I mean, should. It's a suggestion. It's not a must. There are no rules. And then I will take this L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in chocolate or brunette and just kind of lightly feather up so it's super soft towards the front of the brows. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be twins. They should look like cousins, but they don't need to be twins. All right, time for bronzer. For bronzer, I've really been loving, it's just this Sephora No. 4 bronzer. It's not too warm, it's not too cool. I take a huge Royal and Langnickel. Say that 5 times fast. I mean, it's not really that hard, but apparently it is for me. Powder brush and get some in there. And I just kind of lightly make big circles, or I guess like back and forth right along my cheekbone. I don't really do a strong contour. It's just not my jam. But I do like to bronze up the face a little bit and just give it a little bit more warmth and a little bit of definition through there. I mean, you can see the difference that makes. And if you like a strong contour game, more power to you. I think it's awesome. And that's really all I do for bronzer, just a little bit to warm up the face a touch. For blush, I'm going to use the Anastasia Blush Trio in Peachy Love. My brush is broken. I don't know the brand. I got them on Amazon. I love it. It's just my ride or die blush brush. And I just very lightly kind of tap so you get just a tiny bit of color. You don't need anything crazy, just a tiny bit of color. Now highlight. Highlight might be my very favorite thing ever. For highlighter, I'm going to use the Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter in Molten Rose Gold. You can tell this thing is well used. And the Morphe R36 brush. And just, I mean, okay, there you are. That's absolutely beautiful. And it's not, like there's no crazy chunky glitter, so you're just getting that beautiful, beautiful glow. And because I can, I'm a little bit on the nose. And then I'm going to take a Morphe Y22, just tiny little pencil brush. Dip into that just a little, and right there on the inner corner. And right up here under the brow bone. Go back to the highlighting brush and tiny bit on your Cupid's bow, do a little bit on your chin. The other technique that I really like to use is to take a sponge. Again, don't judge, this needs to be wet. And dip in and then just pat it on. I mean, at this point I have probably way too much highlighter on, but that's okay because I don't really think that's a thing. Use how much you want. My other really, I love to use this, and I think it kind of softens everything and gives it a more natural dewy glow, is the Natasha Denona Blush and Glow palette. It's a tiny little palette. It's perfect for travel. It's got a highlighter, and then it's not really a blush. I mean it is, but it's got a lot of, you can see it's got a lot of shimmer to it. I will take that on my finger and just kind of right under. And I just think it kind of gives a nice, soft, natural glow to the skin. For lipstick, I use the NYX Butter Lipstick in Sandy Kiss because I just don't want anything crazy and bold and colorful. It's just a nice peachy nude. And I have tiny lips. And really, that's it. You're done. It's not overly difficult. It's just getting used to playing with color and just going for it. Have fun with makeup. There are no rules. There is no reason you can't make any color work. I am going to use the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Control or Makeup Setting Spray, the oil control one, because I've added some dewy to my skin. I don't want any more added, so. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking it out with me. And if you like this, please give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, and try and get some more out here soon. Thank you.